Do you have a presentation coming up for school or work very soon? Perhaps it's a presentation with PowerPoint, or maybe you need to do an on-camera presentation of some sort. You know, we all have to give a presentation at some point in our lives, so we might as well make it a memorable one. Even if you want to start shooting a YouTube video like this one, you'll need to learn how to structure your presentation properly. So today in this video, I'm going to take you through 7 simple steps that will make your presentation not only more professional sounding, but memorable too. Stay tuned. Q&A Tuesday, all your voice questions answered. Hi, I'm 𝒂𝒂𝒗𝒆, voice and presentation coach and founder of the Voice of Confidence public speaker training program. And today we're talking about presentation skills. Remember to subscribe below and be sure to hit the bell so you don't miss the next video. Okay, let's dive right in. Here are 7 presentation skills that will help you leave a lasting impression with your audience. Number 1, know your audience. Now, what does that mean? Many people just write out their presentation without learning enough about their audience. So by knowing who your audience is, it will actually help you understand what type of content they are going to be expecting. For example, doing the same presentation to a bunch of high school students interested in starting a business is not going to require the same delivery style of, say, a boardroom filled with upper management. The expectations and the understanding of those 2 different types of audiences are completely different. So, dig up some information about who your audience is, what industry they work for, and what positions they generally hold in the company. This will allow you to tailor the content and the delivery of that content to that type of person. Now, you really can't expect to present the same presentation to 2 different types of audiences, because for one type of audience, your idea might be really well received, but the other audience, well, you might bomb. Number 2, use a simple structure. Now, many people think that you need to write a script out for every word of your presentation, but this is simply not true. In fact, it'll make you even more nervous, because then you might mess up or lose your place in the script, and that will really stress you out. So instead, start by designing a really simple structure or framework and then stick to it, but make sure that each section builds upon the last to keep it flowing. Make any complex ideas as simple and as easy as you can for your audience to retain that information effectively, and keep your presentation within that structure. That's the best way to present, because then you can be flexible within the structure, which will allow you to change things up as needed for different types of audiences. Number 3, use visuals. When you're building your presentation, use as many visuals as possible. The graphs, the charts, the graphics are all going to make it much easier for you to remember, and it will also help you engage your audience even more. Let's face it, nobody likes hearing somebody speak for hours without any visual stimulation, especially since about 65% of all people are visual learners. If you use graphics and illustrations in your presentation, you'll be at least relating to a large proportion of your audience. Remember the old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. A picture can make a powerful impact on your audience and leave a lasting impression. So use pictures. Number 4, use repetition. Don't be afraid to use repetition. Don't be afraid to use repetition to help people remember the most important points of your presentation. Repetition helps information stick. Repetition helps information stick. Do you get it? A common structure that many people use is simply this. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Then cover those points in more detail in the body. Then tell them what you told them by giving the audience a recap. This will ensure maximum retention and memorability for your audience. 3 times is the key. Number 5, use storytelling. Our brains are actually wired for storytelling. Before the written language of our time, history was passed down through verbal stories. Stories are a powerful way to convey teaching points and to help your audience remember the most important elements through the power of storytelling. So see if you can recall a story from your life or your career and include the moral or the teaching element to illustrate your point through that story. Your audience will likely remember that point much better if you tell it through a story to strengthen that argument or the idea. Number 6, be authentically you. Look, when you're presenting, don't think you need to overly be serious or be someone else. The best thing you can do is to show up as the very best version of you. If you come across as too stern and authoritative, you might alienate some of your audience and they won't be able to relate to you. But on the other hand, if you look like really nervous or anxious, you'll also alienate the audience because they're going to feel sorry for you. Either way, it's distracting to the message, and that is the goal of your presentation. The goal, of course, is to be relatable, relate that information to the audience in an informative and engaging and entertaining way. So loosen up. Show up in a relaxed and calm state if you want to make a lasting impression. Number 7, practice, practice, practice. So many people spend hours and hours building their presentations and they barely leave enough time to practice the delivery of that presentation. However, the delivery is the most important part. A smooth and confident delivery will help your presentation hit the mark and leave your audience with that takeaway that is the most important. The important elements, of course, is your confidence and knowledge of those slides. If you know each slide by heart, you'll be able to smoothly transition from one slide to the next without having any embarrassing gaps in your content. Try practicing out loud in front of a camera or in front of your family and friends, and then ask for some constructive feedback to help you improve. So there you have it, 7 presentation tips to leave an impression. Now let's do a quick recap so you can remember it more easily. 1, know your audience. 2, create a structure. 3, use visuals. 4, use repetition. 5, tell a story. 6, be authentically you. And 7, practice, practice, practice. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please check out the other videos on my channel. I'm sure you'll like those too. See you next time.